Hi everyone, so today's video is going to be on taming a guinea pig, and I'm also planning to do a taming a rabbit video quite soon, but you can always use most of these tips for rabbits because guinea pigs and rabbits are both prey animals, so they both need a lot of convincing and they both also really like their food. So you can use most of these tips for rabbits as well, but I will be doing a separate video on that in the future. So when you first bring your guinea pig home from a rescue or a breeder or a pet shop, they're going to be really scared, and they're going to be pretty daunted by all the new smells, the new people and the noises. And this is going to be even scarier if your guinea pig is alone, because guinea pigs are herd animals, they feel safer in numbers, so having a pair or a group of guinea pigs is going to make it a lot easier for you to tame them. And it's also going to mean they feel happier and safer, and in my opinion only rarely should guinea pigs be kept alone, and they should only ever really be kept alone if they're really mean to other guinea pigs or something like that, but generally guinea pigs should always be kept with a friend. So I would also recommend leaving your new guinea pig alone for between 3 days and a week. This is really important because they need to feel safe and confident in their new cage. So you want to really just leave them alone in a quiet area to settle in and get used to the smells and all their new things. And you should only really go into their cage to change their food, their hay, water and their veggies, because if you start chasing them around to try and stroke them straight away, it's going to make them a lot harder to tame in the long run, because then they're going to associate you with scary things and you really don't want that. So the first thing you have to remember when trying to tame your guinea pigs is that they are prey species, and this means in the wild there's lots of animals that see them as dinner, so they've evolved to run and hide when they feel threatened. So it's going to take a lot of convincing them that you're not going to hurt them and you're actually just trying to be friends with them. This makes them difficult to tame, but it's also why they're really good pets, because they're not aggressive. They really rarely bite. They will nip and nibble occasionally. For example, if my guinea pigs are getting tired of being held, or I'm cutting their nails and they want to be left alone for a while, then they will nip me, which doesn't hurt. It's not like a bite, it's just a little nibble that tells you that they've had enough. It's like a warning bite. And they do also nibble if you put your hand in the cage and it smells of something and they're trying to work out what that is, then they will give it a nibble to find out what it is. So another thing you'll really want to consider when you're trying to tame your guinea pigs is where you put their cage, and I would strongly recommend housing them inside because they're going to get much more human contact, which will make them easier to tame. But you also want to avoid putting them in a really busy room like a sitting room where there's going to be too many noises, people coming in and out, television, music, things like that. Is going to make them harder to tame because they're just generally going to be more scared. And they also like taking naps throughout the day, and they won't be able to if there's loads going on. In my opinion, a bedroom is an ideal place to keep them because it's going to be quite quiet, but they're also going to get used to you going in and out. It's also important to talk to them before you enter the room so you don't scare them when they notice you. Guinea pigs have got pretty bad eyesight, so they may not see you coming in, and they might also be having a nap because they normally sleep with their eyes open. So you may come in and then try and stroke them and they might suddenly notice you and get quite scared. So it's important, in my opinion, to announce when you're coming in so they know what's coming. You also want to try and be really careful when walking past their cage or changing their cage around to move slowly and not to make any loud noises. Guinea pigs learn through association, and you want them to learn that you're safe, and if they get scared every time you're nearby, they're going to associate you with being scared, and what you want them to do is associate you with good things. So it's also really important to remember that taming doesn't happen at once. It requires a lot of patience, and in my opinion, guinea pigs are one of the hardest small animals to tame. But if you persevere, you can develop a strong bond with your guinea pigs, and it's really important that you don't give up on them. I've had Snoopy and Ollie for a year and I still haven't managed to tame them properly, but I know that every piece of veg I give them and all the time that I spend with them, I'm getting closer to having some tamer guinea pigs. So this brings me on to hand feeding, and this is a really good tip for taming guinea pigs because guinea pigs absolutely love their food, their vegetables, their herbs or weeds, and they're really good to win guinea pigs over with. So what I like to do is just hold a piece of their favourite food and keep my hand really still and let them take it from you. And don't worry if they don't come up and take it at first. Just keep still, and if they don't take it, just remove your hand and then try again later. And eventually they should come up and take it from you. If they don't, then you can always put it down in front of their pig loo and your scent will still be on that piece of vegetable, and then you can try it again the next time. Also, if you keep a routine with vegetable time for your guinea pigs, they'll learn that they're going to get veggies. And I also make a noise when I'm feeding them veggies, so they learn to run towards me when I make the noise. They'll also learn that rustling bags or the fridge opens means that they're going to get fed, and they'll let you know that they're hungry. They do this high-pitched squeak, which is really cute. For example, if my guinea pigs hear me coming up the stairs at tea time, then they know that they're going to get their vegetables and they'll start weeking really loudly. So generally with your guinea pigs, when you first get them, just spend time around them. To begin with, you can sit really quietly next to their cage so they get used to you being there. They'll also get used to your scent. And then after a while you can start talking to them softly, but again, be careful not to make any loud noises or sudden movements because you don't want to scare them. And eventually when you get more confident, put out your hands and let them come to you. You can try and pet them, and if they run away, don't chase them around the cage, just keep your hands still. And taking your guinea pig out the cage for floor time can be really scary for your guinea pigs because generally guinea pigs hate being picked up, and this is because their feet are off the ground and it makes them think that they're being carried off by a predator like they would be in the wild, and it makes them feel really vulnerable. So instead of chasing them around the cage to pick them up, you can kind of coax them into a tunnel or a cuddle sack and pick them up like this. This way their feet aren't off the ground so they don't feel as threatened, and they also have a familiar item with them with their scent on to make it less scary. So once they're in the playpen, you can always sit in there with them and then they can come up to you to investigate, and this way they're getting used to you, but it's on their terms, which is really important. Some people also think, I'm not too sure about this, but some people also think that how easy a guinea pig is tamed depends on their breed, and this is because different breeds have different personalities, although all guinea pigs have their own personalities as well. But for example, Gizmo is an Abyssinian, and Abyssinians are known to be more playful, hyperactive and harder to tame, but I've actually found that Gizmo is one of my tamest guinea pigs. And I think the theory behind why Abyssinians are harder to tame is because their hair sticks in all different directions. So when you stroke them, I think it feels kind of strange if you're brushing their hair in the wrong direction. But I've actually found that Gizmo doesn't really mind it, but he's a really laid back guinea pig, as well as being hyperactive, if that makes sense. So it's really important to remember that this all takes time and it's got to be done on their terms. And if you kind of try and push it and you try and chase them around, because I know when you get your first guinea pig home and you're really excited and you just want to stroke them, you want them to sit on your lap, but the harder you push it, the more scared they'll become, and in the long run the harder it'll be to tame them. So it's really important that you take it really slowly and build up trust with your guinea pigs. And I hope these tips work for you. I'm still working on my guinea pigs, and it's kind of an ongoing thing. And so there's no kind of time limit. It could take anywhere between a week and years to tame your guinea pig properly. And like I said, I've had my guinea pigs for a year and I'm still working on it with them. And it's kind of an ongoing thing, but the more you work on it, the tamer they'll become. I know it can also be really, really frustrating if you watch YouTube videos of guinea pigs and you see everyone else's guinea pigs being so tame, and if you've just brought yours home and they're really not that tame yet and you want them to run up to you every time they see you and you want them to squeak. And I know it's really, really frustrating because I got a bit annoyed when I first got them, and they are generally really scared animals, and it can be really upsetting if your guinea pig's so scared and you just want them to be happy around you. But really all you can do is keep persevering and keep trying, and all guinea pigs start off like that when they're younger, and all guinea pigs will need to really learn to trust you, and it is a really long process, but it's definitely worthwhile when you walk in the room and they run up to the bars and they start squeaking at you, and you just need to work on it, and it does take a long, long, long time, but it's definitely worth it in the end. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to comment, rate and subscribe. Hop along to our Facebook page so you can keep up to date as we post competitions where you can win loads of prizes for your pets. See you soon!